is the biggest race of all, for sure, the hardest one to win. It has the appeal of Formula One, and one is quite happy if you win a trophy. After a success like that, they want to make Mini even more famous. There's Show Clips help. What the Mini can do in sand, they show with appropriate winter gear in snow or on asphalt. An action film starring the Mini All-4 Racing. Location is Lac de Tinès, a famous ski resort in the French Alps. Crazy stunts, rides and jumps. The idea comes from former teammate Guerlain Chicheret, former extreme skier. Yeah, there were stunts for sure. It was a crazy idea from Guerlain Chicheret. We debated for a long time whether we would do something because we know that the cars are not really made for snow. And when you see the pictures, you think it moves quite normally. But we've got studded tires, which you normally don't drive anymore. And we had to change a few things on the car. It was a movie to show something completely different that you can do with the car. And we have seen that you can drive up the slopes with a Mini, not just slide down, and that was amazing for us all, and the jumps were fantastic. With the end of the 2011 race, planning for the next Dakar begins. Initial preparations are in spring 2012 in Morocco. Following rule changes by the organizer, the X-Ray team need to slow down the Minis. The 3-liter diesel engine has now to largely correspond to series. The performance of the vehicle declines. With the changes, something always happens, and we installed a completely new engine last year, standard engine from the BMW 550D. Clearly at the beginning things didn't work well. It's about small improvements that you have to do to see that it gets the minimum performance out of all parts of 2,500 revolutions. But also in 2012, sporting successes remain. The X-Ray Mini wins the FIA Cross Country World Cup in summer for the 6th time, and Peter Hansel wins rallies in Spain and Brazil. The X-Ray team shines. Even the mechanics work like champions. They can now disassemble and reassemble the car in a short space of time. All seem to be perfectly attuned. The service friendliness at the Dakar is one of the main points that one can do a lot to the car with a few simple steps and see something. If you have a normal steel body or a plastic body, as we had before in the X3, which had the disadvantage that you have to reach through the holes that exist, or have to open the doors in order to have better access. Now you can simply remove the outer skin and can access very easily. Ease of service is better, and it all goes much faster to assemble or disassemble a vehicle. One last test before the 2013 Dakar. The team trains wheel changes. The retractable stamp is a useful tool that pushes the car up on any surface. The pilots loses less time than before. The men repeat each movement until they can do a wheel change almost blind. Duration per wheel, 1 minute 30 seconds. Then sit in, close the doors, high punch, drive on, shake down. That according to the latest improvement. Driving test in a gravel pit near Wiesbaden, Germany. Once again, the team checks all systems again for hours of full use of the technology. For the first time, the Dakar starts in Lima, Peru. The 157 registered car teams expect a tough program. The route takes them from Peru to Chile to Argentina and then back to Chile. Dunes difficult to conquer and up to 5,000 meters high Andean passes, in addition to extreme temperature changes. The South American venue proving to be the better choice over Africa. That was definitely the right decision. The media agree with us. The viewers agree with us. In the ancient African rally, we only had a few spectators. There were only Bedouins in the desert, and really not many of them. And if it were a couple of thousand, that was a lot. We certainly have had over 1 million spectators in South America, live on site, plus television, and many journalists who go there. So it has developed into a different rally, but it's still remained a Dakar, still one of the hardest rallies of all. The field of the favorites with good chances for overall victory is large. Above all, Stefan Peter Hansel, who is defending his title from last year, but ahead of the 2012 Dakar winning team, sees only a small chance of a new victory. So the organizers of the 2013 Dakar have changed the rules and given a great advantage to the buggies, which have got more power and is significantly wider, thus have many advantages. So we have no chance really to win against them. Just to give an example, 500 kilograms less base weight, but 100 horsepower more. That alone would mean a win on the track. Competitors in the buggies are no less than the 2010 and 2011 Dakar winners Carlos Sainz and Nasser Al-Attiyah. Thus, under the auspices of Nasser Al-Attiyah, the Red Bull buggy team form probably the biggest competition for X-Ray. Their machine is based on a Bahia Desert race car specially adapted for the Dakar in the Californian desert.
One of the things of the Dakar is you need a car which is working fine in dunes, it's working fine in a road, it's braking good, it's agile at the same time. You need a good compromise everywhere.
We need to put more mileage to see where we are.
Try to experiment a little bit more with the car in different conditions and set up work and trying to fine-tune everything.
The power and the torque is very, very good.
The potential is there, I'm convinced, but it's work.
I'm really happy to test in a hard place to find where the limit of this car.
A few small things that has to be sorted out, obviously, before the rally. But this is a new car, so it's normal. All these things are absolutely normal. The only problem what we have is, the timing. That is our enemy at the moment.
With the V8 engines of the rear-drive buggies, the 400 horsepower strong and 200 kilometers an hour fast, Nasser Al-Attiyah and Carlos Sainz have the more powerful vehicles over the minis of the X-Ray team. But their major drawback is the short development time and low test kilometers. The battle between these teams is definitely exciting.
My dream again to win Dakar with a different car. This is the reason why we built the new project, and to show everybody we are here and we can win again.
And indeed, at the beginning of the rally, the buggies drive out their advantages in the dunes, and they are faster than the minis. Carlos Sainz from Spain wins the first. The third stage, the fourth, and the sixth stage also go to Nasser Al-Attiyah, also in the Red Bull buggy. However, the Monster Energy Minis keep up with them. The head-to-head race begins. Sometimes the Minis come as stage winners and sometimes the buggies. Until the 9th stage, it remains exciting. Stefan Peter Hansel leads with only 1.5 minutes ahead of Al Attiyah. Then suddenly the problems with the buggies start. Engine damage from Carlos Sainz. With Al Attiyah, the water pump failed. A short time later, the man from Qatar finally has to give up. Like in the previous, Mr. Dakar moves early on the road to victory. After 9 stages, he's almost 50 minutes ahead of the second. The 11th Dakar victory for the Frenchman seems within reach. But in the last stage, the 14th, a lot can happen.
Every day it's a new stage, so tomorrow is still one day. Not a lot of kilometers, but we know that this is a motorsport. Everything can happen. And for me, the pressure is still here, you know.
For the second Dakar triumph, team boss Kwan takes to a list. He orders teammate Nani Roma in third place in the overall standings to stay close to Peter Hansel at all times at the penultimate stage. Reason: in case of problems, it is intended that rally participants can support each other. The plan works. The decision this year to allow Nani to drive behind him for one day was not easy from a safety point of view, but was also agreed with him. That was certainly the right one. Nani and Stefan are friends, and Stefan told me that if we drive for safety, then we have to do it like that. So we did, and we took Nani aside and said, you have to wait until Stefan is passed and that you cover him from the back, and that's a decision that I made with him together. After 8,500 kilometers, arrival in Santiago de Chile. Again, about half of all participants didn't reach the finish. One was almost always at the front, Stefan Peter Hansel. The Frenchman won his 11th title by 44 minutes and secured X-Rate a second victory in a row. Best driver, the most professional team, and the most reliable car. Not a single technical problem with the Mini. Extremely rare for a winning car.